Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and we are driving through Mitchell, South Dakota. This is early September 2020. Of course, we've got COVID still going on at the moment and all that good stuff, but my wife and I still decided we were going to take us a little trip, and we went to South Dakota for the second time in 2 consecutive years. We thought it would be just a great state to go back to. And this is actually our third stop since 2012 in Mitchell to see the Mitchell Corn Palace. Neat little town anyway. They got a great water tower. There's a little bull and bison statue. This is us driving towards the Corn Palace. There is a ton of info out there on the Corn Palace. You can look it up. It's got a history. Oh man. Over 100 years history of the Corn Palace. It has had a few incarnations, but the current incarnation has been there for quite a while. Just in a nutshell, the good people of Mitchell built the Corn Palace as a tourist attraction. There were some similar sites in neighboring towns, and they built the Corn Palace. After a few hit or miss attempts, they finally built what you see in front of you, and every year they update the art on the outside of the Corn Palace with new images. Obviously, you see right now you've got the Crazy Horse memorial there on the left, and you've got the Corn Palace on the right. So they're going with the South Dakota theme this year in 2020. And I'll show you more. I'll show you those images a little more close up here in a moment. But they are made out of corn. And there's some corn, and I believe they use a little bit of straw in there too, but it's mostly corn. It's hard to tell from this angle, but when we get a little closer, you'll be able to see the actual pieces of corn. And we're walking into the Corn Palace. This is a great attraction, and if you're driving through South Dakota, if you're coming from almost anywhere, and you're driving to Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, Wall Drugs, you're going to pass Mitchell. And it's just a few miles off the main drag. It doesn't take any time to get there. That nice lady asked us to sign her guest book. I was happy to do it because the Corn Palace is so cool. They're always friendly here. It's, again, it's South Dakota. They're corn people. They're farmers. These are good working class people. And I've always enjoyed everybody I've met in this neck of the woods. This is kind of the little lobby once you go into the Corn Palace. And the Corn Palace, once you get inside, is basically just a really, really nice high school gym where a local high school plays its basketball games. They use it for concerts and that kind of stuff too. Again, there's the main entrance that I'm looking behind me. A little welcome person there greeting people. They usually have a lot of brochures and local magazines to tell you about other things to do in the area and in South Dakota. I always like to grab those. But yeah, this is pretty much just a really, really nice, kind of over-the-top high school sports venue that's known on a national, international level. And it's just really attractive, and I like the kind of corn-themed pillars there. There's a tractor, pictures of the Corn Palaces of the past. There's 1905. There's more pictures along the walls. There's all sorts of information boards. I would read some of that stuff to you, but again, like I said, there's plenty of information online. And you can read up more on the Corn Palace. But I thought I would just tell you a little bit about my experiences stopping here on 3 different times over the last decade. I know we stopped here on our first trip to South Dakota in 2012, and we just thought this was a riot. We thought this was great. And I like how it's just open. Like, you can just kind of roam around. You can go roam into the gym, and there's some hallways with more information about the palace. There's just... This is just a friendly place. It's a nice, friendly stop. But when we were here in 2012, they actually had like a little gift shop kind of here in this area where I'm at now. They had t-shirts and that kind of thing. I think there was also the gift shop across the street. It's directly right across the street when you first walk in. And I think now they've just moved everything over to the one main gift shop across the street. There's the stairway going up into the gym. We'll be in there in a moment. But yeah, this used to be, they used to have more of a gift shop vibe going on through here. Now it's just kind of open with some displays. But yeah, that was 2012. Also in 2012, I bought the most delicious cornball, like a popcorn ball and caramel. Not caramel, maybe butter and sugar kind of. You know, a cornball, you get them at Halloween, or you did when you were a kid. But I got a really good one here in 2012. When we came back last year, 2019, I did not see those cornballs, and I was very disappointed because I was looking forward to them. Well, this year we went over to the gift shop across the street, and I said, "Hey, I got these great cornballs here when I was when I was here in 2012. Where are they? How can I get those cornballs again?" And the lady said, "Oh, go back over to the Corn Palace, and if the concession stand is open, they'll have the cornballs." So I came back over here, half an hour after me filming right now, and that concession stand, right where I was just standing in this area, it was open. You can buy some drinks and snacks, but they had set out a nice big display of these cornballs. So I bought 2 of them. I think they were maybe $4.25, $4.50 each. Yeah, I got them out of that concession stand. It's not open now. It looks like maybe that concession stand opens about an hour after the Corn Palace opens. But I bought 2 of those cornballs on this trip, and I was very happy. I was happy to see that they still sell cornballs. And it looks like a local thing. They have a Corn Palace sticker on them. It looks like you can only get those cornballs here, I'm assuming, but they are really good. Stop at the Corn Palace just to get a cornball. And they're freaking huge, too. They remind me of... they're bigger than my fist. They remind me of the big softballs that girls used to play with in school. It's bigger than a baseball, but not quite small basketball size. But they're huge. Yeah, and they did have some signs up. This was just kind of a change, a little flashboard. You saw some people with masks on. You saw some people without masks on. Everywhere we stopped on this trip, as we drove through Iowa, North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, every area just seemed to have a different vibe about how they were handling stuff. Here we are in the gym. This is the gym where some lucky high school kids get to play basketball. And I'm just thinking that would be so awesome. I don't know much about high school basketball, but if you said name a high school basketball gym, I would say, the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota. It's the only one I know of. Okay, wait, there's the one in my high school, Apollo High School in Owensboro. I know that one. But I was there once to see a game. But this is awesome. It gets decorated. It's huge. They've got this great seating area. Wanted to pan around and just give you an idea of the whole place. And again, the Corn Palace people, they kind of let you just walk all over the place. You can explore, check things out. We got here fairly early. We got here right when they opened. I want to say on a Saturday morning maybe, so the place is not crowded. We felt like we had the whole place to ourselves, which was nice. And check out that art. Check out that corn art up on the walls, even in the gym. And I like it. It's I don't want to say folk art. It's a very pleasant piece of art to look at. They're not going for realistic. They're not going for 3-dimensional. It's just good, nice, pleasant art. And as you walk out of the gym and go back towards kind of the lobby area, the second floor lobby area, let's just call it, they have all these great photos of the Corn Palace from years past. And I think that's great. Just so much going on with the Corn Palace. There's some display cases. And I love looking at this stuff. I love looking at this stuff now. And they've also got, we're going to look at it here in just a moment, they have kind of prints. Yeah, right, there you go. Those are prints based on previous Corn Palace designs used on the outside of the Corn Palace. And I think they're gorgeous. I think those are really, really nicely done. They display well, they frame well. Most of them are, 4 colors. there's a certain simplicity to it, but man, it just looks great. And I like it a lot. I like looking at the themes from previous years. Some space scenes kind of stand out to me. Okay, here we're standing. There's like a little balcony over the main entrance where you can look out over Mitchell. Get a good look. Yeah, and then you can see a little bit of the corn design on the left there. We just saw it. There's the gift shop across the street. Well stocked. You can find your patches, postcards, everything else there. And you get a good look of the town, and you can get a really close-up look of the Corn Palace. There's some birds enjoying some corn, I'm sure, and grain. But yeah, you can see how the corn has been used to make some of the art there. And this is just a great vantage point. It's a great area to look out. Yeah, and check that out too. You see some of the kind of what goes into making the art here. And I could look at that all day. Anyway, yeah, but where we're at, they actually have a camera on their website. If you go to the Mitchell Corn Palace website, they have a live camera trained on the Corn Palace. So we texted and sent messages to all of our friends and said, hey, look at us, we're at the Corn Palace. Yeah, there's some corn cobs. You can see how there's whole corn cobs used in the art. I think that's a lot of fun. So yeah, we texted and sent messages to a lot of our friends and said, hey, go to the Mitchell Corn Palace website. We sent them a link, and you'll see us. And then we waved. We waved at people. And I know my mom called and said, hey, are you all supposed to be there? She was looking at the image on her phone. And of course, I'm sure we were the size of ants. But I told her to look under the S. Look under the S in USA and you'll see us. And she did. And several friends sent us video captures and screen grabs. That was pretty cool. But it's kind of cool. That's the kind of place where you go and you can call your friends and say, hey, I'm on the internet. Which is entertaining to someone like me. And it was fun. We were waving to, the camera. The people that were walking into the Corn Palace thought we were waving at them, and they waved back. And it creates a very friendly little buzz there, and I think that's kind of sweet. And there's some more images from the Corn Palace. I believe there's an official Corn Palace artist, and I think there's only been a few. I think once you get that job, you've got it for the next several decades until you're unable to keep doing it. And there's some storyboards about some of the artists. And then that's looking down into that front main lobby. Then back out there is the little balcony we were just at. Taking one last look. Love the space-themed art. I love the cowboy, the kind of cowboy and Indian art that has been used in the past too. Again, it kind of reminds me some of concert posters too, like the old 60s, especially San Francisco era type concert posters. I like some of that artwork, kind of printed out look. And again, there's just hundreds of framed pieces of history here from the Corn Palace to look at as you're rambling through. And we, like I said, we've stopped here 3 times. Even on this visit, there was that moment where it's like, well, do we want to stop in Mitchell again? We've done it twice. And we both agreed that yes, we wanted to stop in Mitchell again. This is just a good break spot. I think we left our hotel and we were here in an hour or 2 from where we left. And it was just a good place to stop for a moment and stretch your legs and see something very cool. Just another angle of the gym again. I walked by here, I was up in the seats a moment ago, then I walked by and I saw that you could pretty much walk out on the floor if you wanted. And then just for the fun of it, we've left the Corn Palace, and it is a really kind of a retro-y downtown. This would be a nice town to spend a little more time at some other time. It's just there's a lot of cute little businesses. Of course, everybody's going for the Corn Palace. There are a couple of other attractions here if you look on, Roadside America. There's, couple of history-related museums that might be worth checking out somewhere down the road. But they have the Corn Palace, and that kind of trumps just about everything. And this is one of the must-see attractions if you're going to South Dakota for the first time and you're driving out towards the Badlands. You know, the Mitchell Corn Palace, Wall Drugs, and then you start making your way towards Rapid City and everything. But there's a fistful of must-see attractions in this area, and I would definitely rank the Corn Palace among those must-see attractions. But again, it's a cute little town. It's worth a little drive through. And we drove out of town, and I filmed a little bit just because I thought it was so nice. But I hope you enjoyed checking out the Mitchell Corn Palace. We enjoyed going there. Again, it was our third visit, and I've got more pictures of it on my blog at KentuckyTravels.blogspot.com. But yeah, that was just a little video of it. So I hope you see that, and I hope it makes you want to go to Mitchell, South Dakota's Corn Palace. Thanks.